So here's a Thursday in the garden update. Sergio and Javier went to Lowe's and picked up 40 bags of Happy Grow landscape mix. This is the product that I have talked ad nauseum about for years. It is $4.28 a bag, and I just ordered it online at my local Lowe's, and then they went and picked it up. It is great. It's almost the consistency of like shredded bark. It's called Happy Grow Landscapers Mix. I know some of you can't find it at your Lowe's, and it might be worth requesting because this stuff is really great. And I'm going to be using it mixed with some gravel for my mulch up here on the upper terrace. And I think I explained the other day why, partly because first of all, it's beautiful, but I want some gravel in there to just give it a certain look that I want. And also because I have found gravel will help with soil compaction and also helps with seed germination. So they are strategically positioning these in anticipation of, hopefully, this is such a mess, it makes me very nervous, finishing up the irrigation system, getting all of the lines, the ancillary lines to the main boxes in place. And we're working on that today and tomorrow. And I'm hoping that pretty soon I'll be able to have an operational sprinkler system, because I'm not going to lie, it is probably almost 80 today. It's too hot too soon. And a number of you have questioned, do I get concerned about all of these plants getting established in the heat of an Oklahoma summer? And absolutely I am. But I figure that which is really tough will survive. I'll just see. It is an ongoing experiment. But on that note, let's do something happy and look at these beautiful tulips over here. And the white looks so pretty. And here's a tip. I have found that white tulips and pale colored tulips really age more beautifully than dark reds and dark purples. So I am taking that tip myself and putting it into use before I order my bulbs from Color Blends for next fall. So hooray! Kayla is here with Tony and Lalo. And is that Galen back there? Galen. And they're putting the inserts into the window boxes. So the window boxes, as you recall, came last week, Kayla. We got the window boxes last week, I think. And this week I'm getting the metal liners. And these have been custom made. There's actually 2 of them. One for each side, one there and one over there, because the expanse is so long. And then once these are in place, is there anything else that needs to be done before I can plant? Okay, you want to describe that?
Holes in the bottom of it before I leave today for drainage purposes.
Okay.
And then you need to fill it with a couple of inches of gravel.
Okay.
To keep the heavy rainwater, if any gets in it, from holding on soil.
Okay, okay. And I might put some plant debris in there too, because I think I've got some of it just to take up volume. And then I'll put in a good quality potting mix, and then there's no reason I can't plant, is there?
The only thing stopping you would be putting the top trim on.
Okay, and I can plant and then you can put it on, or do I need to wait to plant?
The only one we wouldn't be able to put on at that point would be the back, if you planted.
Okay.
But nobody's going to see the back.
But nobody's going to see the back. So it sounds to me like it would make more sense for me to wait to plant it until you got everything on it.
And we could trim it Monday.
And you could trim it out on Monday. So I could go ahead and do some of the preliminary work. I could go ahead and fill it.
Yep.
And yes, get the dirt and get all of my material ready. I can even buy my material, whatever kind of seasonal color I want to put in there. And then on Monday, you will put it in place and it'll be ready just about that at that point for me to plant it. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so my next question is, have you seen any lantana around?
Not yet. Nurseries are just now starting to fill up, though. Every nursery's got trucks pulling in and out.
Okay.
Lowe's and Home Depot will probably be out this weekend if they're not out today. And every one of them will have lantana.
Okay, because I'm thinking at this point, and you know how I changed my mind, Kayla, but I'm thinking at this point, there's going to be evergreens in here, and then because it is such a hot exposure, for my annual color, I'm going to rely on maybe some pinky white lavender lantana and mandevilla. Think mandevilla will be able to handle this exposure?
I think it will. You know, you've got that evergreen over there that's going to put a little shade.
Yeah.
So if we kept the mandevilla kind of close to the evergreen,
yeah,
get it a little bit of shade for the afternoon. Because I mean, Linda, we're only 80 degrees today.
Yeah.
And this is.
It's already hot.
It's not hot. It's just warm to the touch.
Yeah.
So lantana's great. Mandevilla and protected areas of it will be.
And the other thing is, this is exposed to full sunlight now. It's not planted.
Right.
And there's nothing in there that's been hydrated to kind of reduce the heat factor. So we will take care of that. And then, as always, just pray for some rain, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, these are good looking. Make sure that you drill a good number of holes. And this is, how many of these window boxes have you built for me over time, Kayla?
For you, this is number 3 and 4 that I'm aware of.
Yeah, and then
but
for
on other jobs,
who knows?
we have been paired up on.
Who knows? A lot.
Yeah,
we'll just say 30, a lot.
30 or better.
Yeah,
and they're still there.
They
haven't rotted out. We haven't had to replace them.
Yeah.
The good thing about this is it really protects the wood on the bottom of these planters.
Right, and the lifespan on these planters is very long. I can testify to that. So, okay, I think that's a plan moving forward, and I'll just start getting excited about thinking how I'm going to fill it.
Yes.
Okay. So I've got about this much brick left, and believe me, I think I'll be able to find ways to use it. I'm going to do a couple of what I call brick throw rugs. One on this side, and then the other on the other side, kind of right in between those hollies. And I'm still deciding on a focal point for over there. But that's part of the fun. And then I may or may not, I'm not sure with some of the additional brick, there may be other little things that I use it for, so that I can, in addition to the stepping stones, I can have platforms to stand on as I'm working in the garden. And I positioned that large pot right there with the flags in it, just kind of temporarily to get it out of the way. In fact, I planted some alliums in there that I had. And now I kind of like it right there. And I think I may leave it at the top of the terrace, positioned right there, and spilling over with lots of seasonal color. That's my question of the day on this vlog. On today's vlog, what should I put in there? And I had Javier position all of these big bags of mulch for me, because I'm going to be mulching this weekend. And they're not terribly heavy, but you know, they're not light either. So these are the things that now I give myself permission to get help with. So I had him take those bags and strategically position them throughout the garden, so I can just move from spot to spot. I've got several pots of angel wing begonias that came back, or dragon wing begonias that came back from the greenhouse. This weekend I'll be showing you, in the Sunday show, I'll probably be showing you a lot of the other things that came home to me. These were 2 small pots that I had, and when I took them out of the protection of the greenhouse and they were up here on this kind of hot, windy site, they obviously struggled. And a lot of the foliage and the flowers just kind of wilted. So I just cut them back hard. They're very forgiving. And you can see the new little leafy tips coming out of the various leaf nodes, even on these stems that look like they are completely devoid of anything, of any life, but you can see the tiny little leaves coming out. And these will be hardened off to the sun and the wind, and these might end up in the window box, I'm not sure. These pots of Vidal tulips, I just kind of had the guys temporarily stage them here because they have just performed beautifully in these plastic containers. At the last minute, I had some extra ones and I didn't want the bulbs to go to waste. So don't ever, if you've got bulbs and it's late in the season and you think, oh my goodness, it might be past that window of time to plant them, please don't let them go to waste, because you're certain they will certainly not bloom if you don't get them planted and you just keep them drying out and rotting in your garage or storage unit. So I planted both of these large pots and that small one, and I just stuffed them to the brim. This was that beautiful white collection called Vidal. I believe it's Vidal from Color Blends, and it is just so beautiful. And what I love is it ages really well. I may have talked about that in another snippet, but boy, they look beautiful, and I think definitely I'm going to have to order them again next year. I don't know that I necessarily like them with that strident yellow. That's a little bit too abrasive of a color combo to me. So probably something that will be a little bit softer, a little bit more pastel. These foxglove seedlings keep getting bigger and bigger, and they were such a surprise. Thought I'd give you an update on how much they have grown, and I will get them in the ground hopefully today or tomorrow.